you bring mine down. You uplift the success of your people and laugh at the demise of mine. You give opportunities to them that we never get a chance to see. While they succeed, you tell us our failure is our fault. All we want to do is succeed. Is that such a bad thing? Does it disturb you to see a black man in a suit? Does my success disturb you? All you have to do is try. We've been trying for the last 400 years. You are where we fail. Standardized tests are standard for your students' brains, no one else's. But why does it matter? No matter how hard we try, you still find ways to make us fail. Hello and welcome to Arts and Power. Next up, join us with Ayesis Clay, who is an actor, director, and former teacher. Hi Isis. Welcome to Arts and Power.
Hi, Karina.
Can I say I love your hair?
Thank you. Thank you. I love yours. Is that green?
Yeah.
I love that.
I did read up on you a little bit, and I know you work in acting and production and direction.
I do.
And you also do workshops.
Yeah.
So, what past life experiences inspire your workshops?
That is a great question. So I was a teacher, a classroom-based teacher for about 15 years. And I worked with the Maryland Department of Juvenile Justice. I started out there. And then I transferred to Prince George's County Public Schools. And I was the theater department chairperson for Suitland High School, which if those who don't know, it's a performing arts program inside of a larger school. And my work now deals with helping teachers overcome secondary traumatic stress, which they can get from the classroom and from the school. So what happens is nowadays, a lot of children come to school with traumas that they're dealing with, and teachers become mentors and kind of like a safe space. A lot of times students will find that one teacher that they can confide in and that they can talk to, but there aren't any supports for those teachers. They get all of this trauma and they mentor these young people through these traumas, but there's this thing called secondary traumatic stress, which happens when you are a caregiver or when you are mentoring people in high traumatic situations, and that kind of gets into you, and you get down and you start feeling depressed and you start, exhibiting some of the same symptoms. So my workshops help teachers through art, through theater, and through things that I've learned. I work with Kaiser Permanente, and so yeah, that's what influences my work now.
How exactly did you get into teaching?
Great question. You have some good questions. So it was completely by accident. Oh, I shouldn't say by accident. I didn't go to college for education. I went for theater. And I came out and I was all gung-ho. I was ready to be an actress, and I didn't get parts that paid. And I had a family to feed. And so it was kind of one of those things where I needed a job and I had a degree. And the Maryland Department of Juvenile Justice needed a teacher. And so it was kind of one of those things. I hated it. I went in kicking and screaming. I did not want to be a teacher. It was like, I will be here for 3 months and then I'm out. I'm going to be here for 6 months and then I'm out. And then 15 years later, I've fallen in love with it and I ended up staying.
Tell me about Standing on the Edge. What is it about?
Oh, yeah. So Standing on the Edge is my first produced play. So I've written plays before, but it's my first produced play. And it's for, I say, 8th through 12th grade. And it follows the path of 5 different characters as they step into high school, through their experiences, and then as they step out of high school. So the very beginning and end starts with standing on the edge of a cliff. So that first step before you walk into high school and you're terrified because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know the people. The school is probably bigger than you're used to. And then following their journeys. And then the last part of it is standing on the edge of this cliff as I step into my future after high school. It deals with a lot of things that young people deal with. It started because I ran across a journal that I had written years, like I think I was maybe 15, and at my mom's house. And I'm going through the journal and I'm reading, and I'm like, whoa, my students are still dealing with this now. You know, they're dealing with these issues. And I was a boy crazy. I was real boy crazy in high school. And so all the issues that came with, I was very artistic. You know, I was in theater, I was in band, I was in all the things. And so it's kind of like I segmented myself out into 5 different characters. So there's a jock, because I was a cheerleader, and all that came with that is a jock. There's artsy, there's bookworm, there's insecure. There's a lot of insecurities in high school, and aimless. Aimless doesn't even know why they're there, why they're in school. They don't know what they want to do for their, rest of their lives. And so it follows these 5 characters.
All right. Did you have any doubts about producing Standing on the Edge?
Doubts? Yes. Well, more like fears. Because it was my first one, I didn't know what to expect. I had been producing work at Suitland for years, directing it, producing it. So I knew what I had to do, but it's different when you're directing a play for a high school that has resources and you're producing it for yourself with limited resources. I was very blessed, very, very blessed over the 15 years to teach some amazing students. And the first few iterations of the play, they were the ones who were cast for it. So I was a little fearful because I didn't know how it was going to turn out. But yeah, it turned out great, I think.
Was it hard juggling the production, the directing, and also acting in the play?
Ooh, child. So I didn't act in Standing on the Edge, thank goodness, because it's just the 5 characters. And it was very important to me to have actors who could literally represent these characters, who look like these characters. And as much as I want to think I do, I don't look like a 15-year-old. So, so I didn't act in it, but it was very difficult. It's very difficult to direct and produce. However, that's what I was used to at Suitland, like literally doing it all myself. It wasn't until I got into the professional arena where I realized, no, there are people who do this. Like, you have a director, you have a producer, stay in your lane. You have a someone to design your sets. You have artists to work on your lights. You don't have to do it all yourself. So it's a lot to self-produce. It's a lot.
How did you get into acting and theater?
So someone asked me this question before, and I was trying to figure out when it became a thing. And I don't remember exactly when. I feel like it's been with me since I formed memories. There's never a time in my life when I wasn't performing, when I wasn't doing something. It started out with dance, and then quickly moved to theater, to acting. And so I was young, very, very young. It's always been there. However, there was a time I went to college to become a veterinarian. Yes. For For the first semester at Howard University, I was a biology major. First semester. Christmas, I was like, nope, this is not the move. And then I transferred to fine arts and didn't look back, much to my mother's chagrin. She was not happy at first.
Howard's one of the schools I want to go to. So
it's a great school, Karina. It's a great school.
My mom went for about 2 years.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. I actually ended up leaving Howard for financial reasons and went to North Carolina Central University, which I'm so grateful that I did because I've met so many amazing people there. But Howard, it's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
All right. Who are your idols? Who inspires your work?
So the first person that always comes to mind is Paige Hernandez. She is a solo, it's hard to put her in a box because she's a multi-hyphenate artist. But she was the first person that really showed me that I could do solo work myself as well. I worked on her solo show, Paige in Full, as a touring technical director and stage manager. And by watching her process and watching that as we toured, she really instilled in me this idea that, you know what, if you're not getting the parts that you want, if you're not getting the roles, do it yourself, write it yourself. And so now I think she's like 12 shows in with her company. So she's most certainly one of the people that I look up to. But yeah.
Here, last question. Do you remember your very first role as an actress?
Yes. I was a flower. I think I was like 6. I was a flower. But so my very first role, yes. My very first, I'd say meaningful role, which is kind of, crappy of me to say. All roles are meaningful, but I think what I mean by that is the first role that I launched myself into, that I actually did the craft work for, that I actually really applied skill to. And that was Long Time Since Yesterday by PJ Gibson. And I played Janine, and that it was in college. And yeah, if you've never read that play, it's an awesome play. It's about five friends, Black women, and 4 of them are coming back for one of their friends' funeral. And so I played Janine, the friend who had passed on, and you see her through these flashbacks. And she goes to this transformation that has a lot to do with her friends. And one of the things that I loved about it was, depending on the friend that she was with, it influenced her personality because she was that type of person. So with the wild child friend, she was wild and careless. With the studious friend, she was very studious. So yeah, Long Time Since Yesterday by PJ Gibson.
All right. Thank you so much for this interview. All right, so next is our last segment, and Lauren will tell you a little bit about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Karina.
Hello, my name is Lauren. It's nice to meet you, Ayesis.
Lauren?
So we are going to play Charades, which I bet you would really like as an actress. Okay. So the rules of the game is like it's a competition between you and Karina. The first person to guess if right first, the subject right first wins a point. I am going to do a series of silent activities to help you guess the word I'm acting out. You guys are ready, right?
Yes.
And this is the first one.
Unicorn.
Yeah. Okay, so Isis gets a point. Oh, wait, okay. So, alright, next one.
First word. First syllable. One. Singular. One person.
A tree.
Okay. Let's see. Solo. One person. Solo show.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Put one woman show.
One woman show. Oh, cool.
So you win. Yay.
Tell them what they win, Frank.
I don't know. Okay. It's nice playing with you. Or helping you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. And could you tell us where we could find you online?
Sure. So you can find me across all social media platforms at Ayesis, AYESIS. You can also find my company, Sculpted Clay Productions, on social media platforms at Sculpted Clay. Usually I hang out on Instagram mostly with Sculpted Clay. And then my website is www.sculptedclayproductions.com. And that's where you can find me. And also, please make sure you do, because I have something coming up. Really, I think it's exciting. I'm debuting my a new workshop called Right to Heal, and it's specifically for educators, but honestly, it's for anyone who would like to dabble into writing their own works around events that have happened to them. So I'm taking the idea that I had with sculpting clay, or how I became Mother of Unicorns and how I wrote it, and helping other people write their own works. And it doesn't have to be a solo show. It can be a novel, it could be a short story, it could be a series of poetry. We'll be working on that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Weirdo. That's what they call me. The clothes I wear, the music I listen to, the books I read aren't really considered normal around here. But I don't really care. Not really. Who wants to be normal anyway? Okay, hello, hi, yes. Good morning. I'm Miss Clay. I'm gonna sprinkle my unicorn magic all over the room, and they'll love it. Where's our teacher? Lesson plans and meetings galore. I have so much more responsibility than I had before. Pedagogy. No more playtime, no pretend. There are no creatures around the bend. They told me that I was supposed to teach them everything they needed to pass my class. They didn't tell me that I would begin to teach them everything that I know.
Negligence was never meant to last. So clear away the wreckage of the past. You clear away the wreckage of the past. And your current cause belongs to us. This is the day you've been working for. This is the day you've been hurting for. This is the day you've been aching for. This is the day you've been waiting for. Thought it was all on the horizon, but it was really all inside you.
ArtsEnPower is a youth-hosted and produced web series that highlights the work of performing, literary, and visual artists using their art to better the world. ArtsEnPower is a project through Montgomery Community Media's Youth Media Academy. Learn how you can support this and other MCM programs by visiting us at mymcmedia.org.